Hey y'all, welcome to the very first episode of Don't Mess with Mama's Recipes. My name is Christine and I am going to be going through my family recipes. So I have recipes from my grandmother on my dad's side. On my mother's side, I have my mom's recipe box that I found. I also have this random file folder full of recipes. Some of these go back to like the 70s. These are mainly 70s, 80s, 90s from mom and dad. And then I also have this church cookbook, which I think every Southern family needs to have, is the family church cookbook, in which I have some of my mom's recipes. And so today I'm going to be starting with the church cookbook, and I'm going to be making a recipe from my mother. It's called Cassoulet. This is the church cookbook from the church that we attended. This is from 1990. It's called The Garden of Eden, so you get their cute little pun there. And the recipe that we are going to be cooking today is my mom's cassoulet recipe. So let's get started. All right, now getting started with this cassoulet dish, I did want to just touch on a little bit about what is cassoulet, and the best way that I can describe it is that cassoulet is to France as chili is to Texas. So it's a French peasant dish, like a French country peasant dish. It's made with different recipes depending on different regions. There's probably 1,000 different ways to make cassoulet, just like there's thousands of ways to make chili, although we do know chili is with no beans, right? This one is not chili and it is going to use beans, and so I'm going to go over the ingredients next. Alright, so we are going to go over our ingredients for this recipe. This is actually very simple. What we have is we're going to have a medium onion sliced. I'll probably end up going with about half of this one. This is a big boy here. A clove of garlic, and yes, I am using garlic. Do not come for me. They call for a tablespoon of vegetable oil, and I know this channel is called Don't Mess with Mama's Recipes, but I am going to mess with this part. I'm going to use unsalted butter instead of vegetable oil. That's what the onion is going to be cooking in, and I think that'll be much better. It does also call for a pound of sausage. So we've got HEB regular sausage. It calls for 12 to 16 ounces of cubed ham. So I'm going to take this and cube that up. We have a 1/4 teaspoon of ground cloves, 2 to 3 cans of navy beans, and 1 bay leaf. It also calls for water and white wine. And the white wine that we're going to use today is a Chardonnay from the Willamette Valley of Oregon, one of our favorite places for Chardonnays. And I guess I should say not sponsored by HEB. It looks like everything that I have here is mainly HEB. But yeah, not sponsored, unless you want to sponsor me, and then I'm all about it. Okay, to start this out, it says in a large deep skillet, saute sliced onion and minced garlic in oil, and of course I've decided to do butter instead of oil. And I'm not using a large skillet. I'm going to use this big pan from, what is this, from the Lodge. Dutch oven, there we go, Dutch oven. And garlic, we're going to measure with our heart. It says a clove, but you know, whatever makes you the happiest. That looks like the amount to make me happy. And we're going to put our onions in there as well. Yeah, this smells absolutely amazing already. Onions and garlic and butter. Is there anything better? You can drink a little wine while we're working. Here, I guess while I'm filming here, this is Chardonnay from Domaine. Oh, I can't even. Loubejac. I'm not even gonna. I'll murder it if I say that. But it's from the Willamette Valley in Oregon, and that is absolutely delicious. how do you say that?
Lube jack.
Lube jack?
That's the only thing I can think of.
Okay, Kenneth says it's lube jack.
Which is probably
domain lube jack.
I know.
That's yeah. They're probably somebody flipping out and rolling in their graves right now.
Yeah, that's probably a French name, and it's probably lube jack.
Yeah. No, I like lube jack.
Lube jack. I know.
We'll get you some lube jack.
Yeah.
So, couldn't sound more redneck.
That sounds like the name of the only store in a little one-horse town.
We got fishing lures. You can get your little oil changed. We can change your tires, do your laundry, get
Down
you a
there,
beer.
over there at Billy Bob's Lube Jack.
Okay, so our onions are pretty well cooked. I think they're looking fairly translucent. We are going to add the sausage now. According to the recipe, Mom says to use Jimmy Dean sausage, and her notes say because Jimmy Dean's works well because there is little fat, which I don't know where she got that information from, but we are going with HEB sausage and bring on all the fat. Okay. So now that we've got the sausage in here, we're going to get this brown. I've turned the heat up just a little bit. And we're going to break this down and get it good and brown. Alright, we are starting to get some color on this sausage, starting to brown up a little bit. I think I'm going to go just a couple minutes longer. I really like it when it's nice and brown. We get that little crust on some of these pieces here. Okay, this is looking pretty good. I think we've got a little bit of browning going on. I'm ready to move on to the next step of this recipe. And Mom says to add cubed ham and clove and then stir. So let's get our cubed ham. I went ahead and weighed this out. I went with 12 ounces instead of the 16 ounces because I'm going to use the rest of that ham steak for another recipe that we have. So we're going to go in with our cubed ham and stir that around a bit. And then it says to add the clove, and that is going to be 1/4 of a teaspoon of cloves. Okay, here we are with our 1/4 teaspoon of cloves. You can probably hear my dog in the background barking. I think he wants in. Oh my gosh, the smell, as soon as that clove hits everything, oh my gosh, y'all, that smells absolutely amazing. All right, now the next thing Mom says is add white wine to taste, which I think is kind of funny. That leaves me too much leeway, and I'm like 1.5 glasses of wine into this already. So, yeah, here we go. White wine to taste. So, how's that? That looks good. And there's still more left for me to drink later, so we will go with that. So after adding the white wine, she says to let that simmer for a few minutes. Oh, that just smells so good with the sausage, the ham, white wine, clove, onions, garlic. My kitchen smells absolutely amazing right now, y'all. Okay, we've let that white wine cook off for a few minutes. Again, this smells just absolutely incredible. And next up, we have the 2 to 3 cans of the navy beans. And I did call Mom today and confirm. I didn't know whether or not she wanted the beans. I couldn't remember. Do we drain the beans or do we use the beans with the juice or whatever in them? And she said, do not drain the beans. Use the beans as they come. I'm going with 3 cans of beans because we're only doing 12 ounces of the cubed ham. So I thought it would be okay to go with just a little bit more beans. So we are going to go with a total of 3 cans of the beans. And then she says water to desired consistency. So I guess that's like the wine. You just like measure with your heart. So we will do that. Let me stir this around and see where we are consistency wise and how much water I think we need, which I don't think we need a whole lot. Okay, so I've got about a can of water. I'm going to mix that in. Okay, I think that looks good. So what we're going to do is I'm going to grab that bay leaf. That's one of the last things that the recipe called for. And we're going to add that. Let me grab one of these out. Okay, one bay leaf that we're going to add in. And then it just says to cover and simmer as long as possible. So I'm going to bring this up to a simmer, and then I will cover it here in the Dutch oven, and we'll let this simmer. Mom says that to let it simmer as long as possible, at least an hour, and then to serve it with garlic bread. So, you know, with my HEB order, I ordered the Texas toast garlic bread, so we'll be cooking that up here shortly, and then we'll be back here in just a little bit when everything's all done and we're eating dinner, and we'll taste and we'll let you know how it turned out. And I don't know if I said this earlier, but really the main purpose of me recording these videos is that I want my daughter and my nieces to have a record of the recipes that really shaped our lives for myself and my sister, and show the connection through family, through what my mom was making and what her mother was making, and my dad's mother, what she was making in the kitchen. And all of these recipes, everyone is from the Dallas, Texas area. So some of these may have a more southern feel to them. But I just, again, wanted to really start showing off some of these recipes that have been in the family for years, some that haven't been cooked in decades. And I just thought it would be interesting to cook them, see how they turn out, see if there is anything that I would change. Yeah, and have something for my daughter and my 2 nieces, for them to be able to look back on over the years. If there's something that they want to make, they have, you know, a memory attached to a certain recipe and they want to know how to make it, that we'll have that recorded for them. Okay, so, you know, we had to Google this. The correct pronunciation is Domaine Loubijac. So that's the way you're supposed to say it, not Domaine Loubijac. Who would have known? Okay, it looks like we have a little bit of a simmer going on here, so I am going to go ahead and put the lid on this and let this cook for a bit. Mom says at least an hour, and longer is better. She said leftovers are the best, and I can remember that from my childhood, when Mom would make this. The next night was always even better because it it thickens up even more. Right now we're looking at more of like a soup consistency, and like the day after, it's going to be a little bit thicker. It's going to be more of like a stew consistency. And then when you add in that garlic bread, it is absolutely amazing. One of my favorite meals as a kid growing up is this one right here. Okay, so here goes the lid. We're going to cover this up. I'm going to turn the heat down, and we're going to let this go for a couple of hours. So we'll see you back in just a few hours. All right, so this has been cooking for about an hour. So let's take a peek and see how we're looking. I'm going to set this over here. Oh, sorry, hit the camera. So this is looking really good. The smell is absolutely, it's just amazing. You know, the clove and the sausage and the ham, it just really is so very fragrant. I just can't even describe this, the smell. You know what cloves smell like, right? And you add it in with these savory elements. It's just absolutely amazing. So this looks really good. I think I'd like this to cook down just a little bit to get it to where I want it to eat for dinner for tonight. You see, it's just for me, it's just maybe a little bit watery. So I'm going to let this cook down with the lid off for just a little bit and let it cook down just a bit. Okay, this has been simmering without the lid on it for about an hour, and I think it looks really, really good. It's cooked down a bit. This looks exactly the way I want it to look. Yeah, this looks really nice. So, oh, there's that bay leaf. I was wondering where that ended up at. So let's plate this up and take a taste and see what we think. Okay, so it's cooked for about an hour with the lid off. Everything looks great. I think it's time to taste. It looks really good. Hopefully you can see this. I think it looks absolutely fabulous. It smells the way I remembered it, so that is good. So I will take my readers off. Obviously I can't see a thing without my readers. But let's go ahead and take a taste. This looks like it's really hot. It's still steamy. Don't burn your mouth. Okay. So you've never had cassoulet before, have you?
Never.
Okay, so let me know what you think.
That's excellent.
God, that is so good.
Love that flavor. Yeah, you can really taste the cloves in there. That's very good.
The cloves come through, and it's just so surprising that you would put cloves in with sausage and ham and beans. But it really, really works. Sometimes when I've had this, what do you think about the salt level in this?
A little bit too much.
Right, I think it's just a touch too salty for me.
Yeah.
And I think that may come from the fact that the beans are put in there without being washed and rinsed. And if I were to make this again, that might cut down on the sodium a little bit, because we didn't add any salt. No. We added no other seasonings or spices other than the cloves, right?
Right.
So I think if I were to make this again, I would probably rinse and drain the beans and replace it with plain water.
Yeah.
Yeah. But gosh,
it's very, very good, but the salt is definitely hitting it.
Yeah, it definitely tastes fairly salty to me. But not too salty. Not so salty that I won't eat an entire bowl of this.
Yes.
We still need to make our garlic bread. I haven't done that yet. So that is next. But
yeah.
Really, really good. I would say like 10 out of 10, 9 out of 10. I would totally do this one again.
Oh, yeah.
How are we going to do our rankings? Like, would be like a 10 out of 10, totally do again? Is that how you're going to rank it?
I think 10 out of 10 is going to be, we're doing that again tomorrow night.
Okay, so then we'll say 9 out of 10?
I'll give it a good 8.5.
8.5, all right.
It tastes excellent. It's very good. But, I mean, as good as it is, it's not something I want to eat every day. So, but it is excellent.
So you're an 8.5. I'm probably like a 9 or a 10, because this really hits hits home with that nostalgia factor.
So yeah, it brings up all the memories, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
That's a good thing.
for sure. All right, so we'll see you again next time. We'll see what we make this when I decide to do this again. Whether it's from the recipe box or that mystery folder of all the random recipes or the church cookbook, I'll be digging through those and finding some really fun things to cook and to share with you. Thanks, y'all. See you soon. Bye.
And don't mess with your mama's recipes.